I'm Bill. Just me tonight, thankfully. A little bit worried tonight, to be honest. Fucking terrified. Now, I live in a tower block, it's true. I smoke, yes. I live in a tower block, you know. 9th floor, 50 quid's warehouse. Hatfield, Hertfordshire. Anyway, there was this fire in London, wasn't there? And apparently, sort of like, this tower block in London, is sort of like someone had a fire on the 4th floor or something in the kitchen. Did you try to put the fire out? If it's a fat fire, you put a wet cloth on it. Public education. Never put water on a fat fire. If you have a chip fat fire, if you have a chip, you know how it is when you're cooking chips and you sit down or whatever, because you're too lazy to cook, and then you sort of like set fire to the chip pan. The fire, the chip pan catches fire because it gets too hot. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've set my own kitchen on fire twice. In this flat, 50 quid's warehouse. I've actually set my kitchen on fire twice. Because I was cooking chips or something and I forgot about it, fell asleep or something. And like everybody does things. And it caught fire. We can't blame it on the poor bloke, kitchen fire. I mean, kitchen fires happen quite a lot, don't they? You sort of like cooking your chips and it catches fire or something because you fall asleep or you forget about it or something. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It's happened twice in my fucking kitchen. I'm shitting myself. I'm fucking crapping myself. I'm scared of my own kitchen now. Scared of my own kitchen. Shitting myself here because there's flats. No, it had a fire in his kitchen, which happens a lot, But apparently it caused the whole fucking block of flats went up in flames, didn't it? 100 people or so died. Well, I think it's serious. Thankfully, I did get a letter from my council, being a tenant. But thankfully, yeah. I'm just thinking, it's like sort of, we all have kitchen fires, don't we? You can't really blame it on someone if they have a kitchen fire. But the trick is, if you get a damp cloth. Never pour water on if you have a fat fire. If you're cooking chips or whatever, which is probably the case in these things. If you're cooking chips or whatever, never throw water on it. Water burns the fire. For some reason, I don't know why, it's a chemical reaction. It is a chemical reaction. I don't know why. But when you put water onto a fat fire, like a grease, oil fire, the fire gets bigger. The fire gets a lot bigger. It's scary, I know. It's a lesson I learnt in school, actually. We were taught it in school. And you should get taught fire lessons. Do you get taught fire lessons? You should get taught fire lessons at school. You never put water on a fat on a chip pan fire. If you're frying, never put water on oil. Basically, because it makes the fire go boom, really big. I've done that myself once downstairs. I'm not a pyromaniac, right? But yeah, it's what you do is you've got to get a damp cloth or damp towels, wet towels basically. Well, damp because you can't put too much water on it, and you smother the flame. You've got to smother the flame. If you ever get a chip pan fire, instead of fucking trying to stop it with water, because that'll make the flame go bigger. Anyway, what you do is you get a wet cloth, a damp towel, and you put it over the fire. If you can. It's very hot. Yeah, a damp cloth, and you put the damp cloth over the fire. That you've got to smother the flame, you see, without burning the cloth, kind of thing. So you've got to have a damp cloth, and that smothers the flame. You see, for some reason, I don't know why. I think the flame needs air. The flame needs oxygen, you see, to burn. The flame needs oxygen to burn. So what you do, if you have a chip fire, you get a damp cloth, you get a cloth, a towel or whatever, you wet it, dampen it, and then squeeze it, and then sort of put it over, you put the damp cloth over the flame to try and smother the flame, to stop the oxygen getting to the fire. Because a fire can only grow if you have oxygen, you see. The reason you put a damp cloth over a chip pan sort of thing, a chip pan fire, not when it's cooking, obviously. You turn the oven off first, turn the cooker off first. And if you get a chip pan fire, whatever, you put a damp cloth over the top of the saucepan so that it smothers the flame. It stops the oxygen getting to the flame, so the flame goes out. But if you put water on it, it burns bigger. It's a big mistake a lot of people make with chip pan fires, really. And that's a big mistake people make with chip pan fires, is they put water on it, which will make the flames go bam. So remember, just put a damp cloth. You make sure it's damp, otherwise it will get set on fire. If it's a dry cloth, it will go on fire, obviously. If it's a dry cloth, it will go on fire. You get a damp cloth and you smother the fire. You try and smother the fire with the damp cloth. Anyway, I heard 100 people died in Chelsea, was it? Well, in London anyway. Somewhere in London. About 100 people died in that fire. Got burnt to death. Terrifies me, man. It's like the bloody Towering Inferno. Have you ever seen the Towering Inferno? I mean, I live on the 9th floor. There's 12 floors of Queensway. But I live on the 9th floor, and I'm just... Luckily, I got a letter from the council saying that the cladding's alright in this block. It's quite new and stuff, so we should be alright. But I'm trying to eat something. I've not had an appetite for fucking 3 days. Do you ever get that feeling when you just don't feel like eating? I even cooked a fucking beef stew and I couldn't eat. I'm not very good with food lately. So I'm trying to eat something. Just to put something in my stomach. No, I'm a bit upset about it. It's very sad. I mean, the whole block went up in flames, didn't it? Poor bloke. No, I do feel sorry for the bloke who sort of, kitchen fire. But makes you wonder. It's all in the news anyway. So, I mean, pretty frightening though, isn't it? When you're sort of sleeping in your bed and then your fucking flat goes into flames. What a terrifying thought. What a fucking terrifying thought. You're in your flat, your home. Suddenly it sort of like goes up in flames. It's fucking terrifying, isn't it? Honestly, I think it's fucking terrifying. My worst nightmare. I mean, I've got so much up here. Paintings, my stories, my videos still, thankfully, even though you tried to destroy them. And if this flat went up in flames, there'd be nothing left. Records, videos, television. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? What would happen if your own home went up in flames? How much did you lose? Your entire history, probably. Isn't that a terrifying thought? What would you do if your entire home went up in flames? Well, you'd lose your entire history, your entire collection, or whatever you've been doing in your flat. Your whole life. Belongings. My heart goes out to those people, man. Those people who lost their homes and their loved ones and their neighbours. It's fucking hard, isn't it? Apparently about 100 people died in this inferno. In this block of flats in London. That's the death toll so far, you know. I've got an idea. I do have one idea. I live in Hatfield, Hertfordshire, 50 Queensway House. A 9th floor, and I love living in a tower block. I swear to God, I love living in this tower block. Lovely view out the window. Lovely neighbours. Really, really good mates. My neighbours are really good mates. You know, really nice people. Know each other quite well, you know. I can imagine everything like we've created here might go up in flames. You know, I mean, a scary thought, isn't it? It's a scary thought that a tower block burned down so easily. And don't tell me to stop smoking or I'll burn you fucking out. It does make you wonder about mortality. Mind you, remember 2000, Two Towers? It was probably a chip vampire or something, wasn't it? I mean, how many people have never had a chip vampire? You know? I don't know. Something went wrong there. So, I had an idea though. Well, because you know that art, there's an art shop downstairs actually, just under Queensway House, which is closing down. I've got an idea for the council, for Welling Hatfield Council. I'm a council tenant actually. Thankfully, I rent my flat. What a bummer if you owned your flat and it got burnt down. I said, bad. It's okay. I'm a council tenant. Right? I rent my flat. I don't own this place. I only rent it from the council. I'm just thinking, what a bummer it would be if I owned the flat and it burnt down. That'd be a bit worse, wouldn't it? That would cost me a lot of money. Fuck it. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I did have an idea. Yeah, apparently there's an art shop downstairs which is closing down. I've got a better idea than closing down. Hey, for this art shop downstairs, what you do is you clear all the shelves away, right? You paint all the clear everything away. Take everything out of the shop, so there's nothing in the shop. Completely empty shop downstairs. Right? You leave it empty. Completely empty, bare walls, bare floor, bare everything, right? And then what you do is you put a notice on the wall. You say, public art gallery. Display and sell your pictures here. And then you can give 10% to the charity to help these people who lost their flats, right? Good idea for Hatfield, right? Because the shop's closing down. I thought it would be a nice idea. What you do is you have a blank wall shop, right? And then you say, you invite people to display their own pictures or photographs or whatever they're good at. You got 4 blank walls or whatever, and you get people. You suggest that people go into the shop with their pictures, put them on the wall, so the people who come in, they put their pictures on the wall, right, and you sell them at an auction a week later. 1 week later, you have an auction. So you use it as an art gallery sort of thing. So you display your art for, say, a week, and people can place their bids or whatever to buy the art, right? Okay, so imagine all the people putting their pictures up on the wall. Yeah, people put their pictures up on the wall. You display the art for, say, 1 week, yeah, to start with. And you have an auction at the end of the week. Say, picture number 1, how much do you want to pay for it? So people can bet on and buy the picture, you know, whoever bids the highest. And then 10%, because it is actually Queensway House still, downstairs. It's sort of like, you know, the block, Queensway House. Yeah. And what you do is downstairs in that blank shop, you know, people display a picture and an auction, and you sell the pictures. And then you could give, say, like 50% or 10%. But depends on what the artist wants. You know, the artist can have a much percentage the artist wants. 50%, 90%. So the artist can name their own percentage. So they sort of say, right, I'll have 90% of the picture. About 10%, you give 10% to this tower block charity to help these people who lost their homes. Because this is a tower block, you could have a sort of like art gallery, so thingy, display thing. And they could sell the pictures, and then 10% of the proceed could go to the tower block that got destroyed. You know, the people who lost their homes in this tower block. All the people who lost their homes, you could say like 10% to them to pay for this, to help pay for the, not like charity, but as people standing up. And say 10% goes to the tower block who lost their homes, or the people who lost their homes, like, in that tower block tragedy. And then sort of like, you can say sort of like, right, every week, you know, you sort of like have as many, well, you sell pictures and you fill up the blank walls. You leave the other pictures there, you know, if they don't sell within a month, you take them down, that sort of thing. You know, you can have a public art gallery where you could sell pictures and have an auction every day. Okay, you can have an auction every day or every week. You know. And then you could say, like, give £10 to this tower block. People lost their homes, or and once that's sorted out, you gave £10 to shelter. Or, you know, 10%. You just give 10% of every sale to help people. You give 10% of every sale, of every painting to help people. But you can have a sort of like a public art gallery downstairs. Or, you know, have blank walls, and say people just let people display their own pictures, or lay their own carpet, or whatever they're good at, display their own thing. You just have an empty shop, one empty shop, but you get the people to fill the shop, and you can sell it at a price or at an auction or whatever you want. One little shop unit, right? And then what you do, you sell your stuff in the shop unit, and then 10% of what you sell goes to charity, goes to help the homeless, or goes to help this. Yeah, it goes to help the homeless basically. Because even these tower block people are homeless, aren't they? You know what I mean? That'd be cool. In fact, that shop is next to the YMCA thing, isn't it? The, what's it called downstairs? No, I'm not sure. It's YMCA thing down, youth thingy downstairs. There's a youth centre downstairs, right? That'd be a good idea. You get the council to give you the shop unit at the end of the street, well, next door to the flats, like. You leave the walls blank. You get people to display their own art and their own creativity, and then they sell them, and 10% goes to help the homeless. About that. Anyway, that's just my idea. It's a bit dumb. So I mean, but I'm sorry about the people who lost their homes and stuff. It scares the shit out of me. Anyway. Good night.